Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I want to talk about the GOM. You see that on some of the videos, and what it is, it's a grumpy old man. And I want to kind of explain more in detail what a grumpy old man is. And the thing is, a grumpy old man, I used to think a grumpy old man is just some old man that gripes and bitches about things. That's what I used to think. You know, somebody that's got a burr under his saddle, and he just can't be pleased. And that's what I used to think a grumpy old man was. And then what happened is, now I find myself being a grumpy old man. But what it is, to be a true grumpy old man is a sign of experience, a sign of a well-traveled person, someone that has had experiences. They just don't bitch and complain and stuff. They see things and they've got things to compare. And so when you see something that's not right, and you've got other things in that same type of system, you can compare it. And so when they are bitching and complaining, like I say, it's really an education, is what they're sharing their knowledge with you. One example would be, okay, I went to Cuba, and seeing it's an island, and it's very secluded, and it's communist, and with a dictator, and that was Castro. It was 2000 is when I went, the year 2000. Now, at that time, I could see, and I was still young, and still at that time, I've still been in a few foreign countries, and I've seen different governments, and I could see how they worked. I saw the people, how the people are herded like cattle, you know, like we got the out here, and so this is the way. So when you see this stuff, it all starts adding up. And then that's why when I complain and bitch about the United States government, it's because I've got something to compare it to. I'm not just somebody that's bitching and raising hell, but I don't like paying taxes. No, it has nothing to do with that. Well, it has a little bit to do with it, because I see those taxes that are being paid is feeding the corruption, is feeding the evilness that is in our government. And it's just like a college kid that doesn't know how to work, doesn't know how to handle money. You give them a credit card, they do stupid shit. It's the same thing. And why? Because I've had kids, I've seen kids, college kids with credit cards. See, so these are the things that add up that makes you a grumpy old man. And so when you see it, that's one thing. You see things and you share what you see. That means you're a grumpy old man. But to be a grumpy old man, it's just like everything else that I've talked about. It takes personal responsibility and preparing. And the reason it's like that is if you, like I say, sit on the porch, watch TV all the time, this type of stuff, you're not getting out, you're not experiencing things. And when you don't experience things, you are not capable of preparing for things. And that's what it takes. You have to prepare. Because like I say, I know I'm going to have conflicts. Why? Because I've had a lifetime of conflicts. I haven't been just sitting around watching TV all the time, using my imagination. I get into conflicts of some type. Now, I'm not saying conflicts like there's going to be fights and, you're going to have to brutally beat your way out of things like that, even though there has been times I've had to do that, and I've even prepared for that. And like I say, it's good examples. When I shot the guy in 07, the street gang was robbing the store. There's an example of when you have to use brute force, and that's why a lot of times, well, there's a saying, you don't mess with anybody older than you, and the reason is they've had more experience, and that experience adds up, making that grumpy old man. In other words, he doesn't put up with crap, and that's because he has prepared. It'll work the same thing in the way of financial. When you have money, when you have worth, not so much money. Because I say I don't have money. Money's not my big thing. But when you have worth, you know you can start a new life with the gold and silver, or you know how this stuff works. You know how the financial burdens, being in debt, you know how that works, and you know trying to take responsibility of a family, you know how all this stuff works, and it adds up. It adds up, and as you get older, you know and understand it. Now, when government officials, anybody that thinks they're going to push their weight on you, and that's because they don't have crap in the way of weight. What they do is they represent someone of strength, and that could be a big business. It could be, like I say, government is what I mostly come in contact with. And I seldom do I have big business trying to tell me what to do. But I know there are some people that they have to deal with big business. Now, the thing is, when these people that you're dealing with, you know their financial weaknesses. You know these people need that job. They're cool because they've got a six-figure job, okay. But at the same time, if you complain to the right people, that could put their six-figure job in jeopardy. And they know that. They know that. The thing is, you know that also. And you know who to talk to put their job in jeopardy. And when that happens, then they're less likely to put very much pressure on you because you know their financial weaknesses. And that's another reason why you have gold and silver. You don't answer to nobody. These are the things that add up to being a grumpy old man. So when you see my videos and I'm bitching and raising hell about stuff, and I'm talking about stuff, for one thing, I'm not telling you what to do. Everyone has got their own lives, their own responsibilities, their own way of doing things. And it's up to you to figure out what's going to work. What I'm doing is bringing things out so you can relate. Now when it happens to you or something like that happens to you, you say, oh man, Mike was talking about that. I'm not giving you the answers to it, but I'm making you aware of the situation. Now you can do something about it. Either do something at that time or think, shit, I should have done something, and now you can work on a plan on making sure that shit doesn't happen to you again. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.